Welcome back to another episode of Quick Picks with the Geek. I am your host, Bro Power the Geek. Next up, we've got Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafsson, and this one's got all the ingredients of a Viking feast, minus the mead and the roasted boar. Instead, we're getting takedowns, busted noses, and probably somebody stalling in half guard until the ref gets annoyed. Let's talk. Rinat Gladiator Fakhretdinov coming in as a plus 105 underdog with a record of 24-2. Now this guy is about as subtle as a Russian bear hug. His entire game is built around dominant wrestling and grappling. When he fought Brian Battle, he didn't just win, he turned the octagon into a wrestling mat for over 14 minutes. If Brian had a Fitbit on, it probably thought he was being kidnapped. And when Rinat isn't smothering people with pressure, he's got sneaky submission chops too. 6 subs on his record, including choking out Kevin Lee in under a minute, basically turning Motown Phenom into Motown Phantom. On the feet, his striking isn't going to win any highlight reels, but the dude has deceptive power. Ask Eric Spicely. Rinat knocked him out so hard he punched his way into a UFC contract. That said, the striking is loopy, a lot of overhands, not much polish. If we're being honest, his defense can get leaky too. And here's the other knock. Sometimes his wrestling gets inefficient. Against Carlos Leal, he shot 19 takedowns and only landed 2. That's like swiping right 19 times and only getting 2 matches, and one of them is your cousin. Not great percentages. He also has a habit of stalling once he gets on top, just holding position instead of advancing. That's fine if you're on a high school mat, but in the UFC, that gets you boos, stand-ups, and probably Dana White on Instagram saying, "Do you guys even want to fight?" And don't forget, some of his recent wins, like the Carlos Leal and Nicholas Dalby fights, came with a side of controversy. He's winning, yes, but it's not always dominant, which makes you wonder how he holds up against someone who won't get drowned on the mat. Now let's switch it up. Andreas Bane Gustafsson coming in as the minus 125 favorite with a record of 12-2. This guy fights like he's late for work and the octagon is blocking the exit. He doesn't study tape, he just charges forward like a berserker. His whole style is a relentless pressure, smothering pace, and a game plan that's basically make this fight as ugly as possible. He's got 8 knockout wins, and if he doesn't knock you out, he might just break your nose in the process. He's handed out more broken noses than a bar bouncer. The guy's Greco-Roman base shows every time he ties you up in the clinch. He'll drag you, trip you, or just dump you on your head. And it's not just violence on the feet, he's got submissions in his back pocket too, including a couple nasty ones like scarf holds. Because nothing says "I'm from Sweden" quite like choking you with your own arm while staring into your soul. That said, Andreas isn't exactly a master technician on the feet. His striking is simple: jab, cross, hook. Hope your head's still there when the dust settles. He's also admitted to gassing himself out at times. In his fight against Chaos Williams, he kept his pace, but by the end he looked like he needed an oxygen tank and a nap. And his style, constantly charging forward, leaves him wide open to damage. He's been in some bloody wars. And let's be real, he's going to eat shots even if he's the one dishing them out. Against smarter, more tactical fighters, that's a liability. Against a guy like Rinat, who loves to drag things into the mud, it could be a real problem. So who wins? If Rinat can keep Gustafsson planted on the mat, control him, and sprinkle in some submission attempts, he can definitely grind out a decision or even grab a choke if Gustafsson gets too reckless. On the flip side, if Gustafsson's takedown defense holds up, and from what we have seen this is a possibility, he's got the power and pressure to force Rinat into a panic. We've already seen Rinat gas out when his wrestling doesn't land, and that's when Andreas can start walking him down and turning this fight into a bloody Viking raid. Official pick. I'm rolling with Andreas Gustafsson. His takedown defense, forward pressure, and ability to break guys under pace are exactly the tools he needs against a guy like Rinat. Give me Gustafsson by TKO. Probably late after Rinat's tank starts looking emptier than Dana's patience during a media scrum. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat when the next video drops. And don't be shy. Leave a comment below and let me know who you got winning this fight. Let's see who really has the crystal ball around here. Until next time.